Last orders at the bar, please.
Welcome to Tavern Tales, a curated 5e Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the tales of the Yawning Portal campaign module by Wizards of the Coast. Previously on Tavern Tales, our adventurers have made their way to the lowest level of the Sunless Citadel and defeated, haphazardly, skeletons and twig blights. But what is making that noise in the open cavern to the north?
Come sit down and drink with the enemy, raise a glass and toast to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So come sit down and laugh with the enemy, raise a glass and sing to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So I won't end up being alone, 'cause I won't drink my drink alone. So what about you? One beer or two, I'll drink to you.
Welcome, everyone, to Game 12.
Oh,
12th game of the first chapter of Tales from the Yawning Portal, Dungeons & Dragons 5e module. I am your host, Kyle. Who do I have at the table today?
Hello, this is Paige. I'm playing Oriana, who is a tiefling sorcerer.
I'm Marie Claire. I'm playing Drayden Silverkin the Fox, a half-elf fighter.
Oh, he's not a Hengayoke?
Okay. That was hilarious today. Yes. No, he's a folk hero and generally handsome fellow.
I'm Aaron. I am playing Yashiria, the human cleric, who is currently learning to crochet for her new love interest of Erky Timbers.
Oh. That's nice to know.
Gonna crochet a snuggle blanket.
Some will be made, I'm sure.
A forearm snuggie that they can couch with.
A forearm snuggie.
Yeah, forearm
I was
snuggie.
like, I wanted to say it was a fuck blanket. But so I was like, no, Kyle's just going to have to cut that.
Just leave it.
I mean, there is that explicit warning for a reason.
For a reason. These are the players we have at the table today. I'll begin. Dern and his hobgoblin henchmen are dead. Grenell sits on the throne of the Durbullock tribe, and our Silverkin family has descended the shaft into the depths of the Sunless Citadel. It was a bit touch and go after Oriana was cut down by Rogi, and Yashiria was pushed into the shaft, but they made it through. Now as the grease magically evaporates from the chaotic surge of Oriana's sleep spell, Yashiria lightly touches down after levitating in her new boots, while Drayden collects himself, saying,
I really hate skeletons.
And now let us peek into the adventure itself, as sounds from the northern cavern opening draws the attention of the party as the smoke of burning twig blights slowly drifts northward. But before all of that, before combat with hobgoblins and long, passionate kisses with gnomes, there is a scene worth telling of a half-orc and a kobold on the open road in broad daylight. But since that player's not here, that will have to remain in your imaginations. Nevertheless, Sidork does not return. Sidork does not descend from the tunnel above at this most opportune moment after a few skeletons and twig blights have been dealt with, as you wait to look to see which direction you go next, south, east, or north, though you do hear the sounds of something going on to the north.
It's probably worth it to go and deal with that first.
Absolutely. However, all three of you, during your short rest, level up.
Woo!
Oh my god.
Oh, I get a new thing at level 3.
So,
Oh, I'm so excited.
take a moment, take some time, level your characters, And when the episode suddenly resumes for the listeners, all of you will have achieved new results and new bona fide benefits. I was going to level you up last game. I was going to have that happen on the descent. But unfortunately, my copy of the brand new book, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, that has a whole bunch of wonderful subclass and new spell options in it, did not arrive. So we'll wait and do it today so that everyone can make use of this brand new book if they would like to do so.
Is there anything cool for fighters?
Yes.
Is there anything cool for sorcerers?
Well, you've already chosen your subclass
I remember
option.
we talked about this. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So because you've already chosen your subclass option of a wild mage, I'll gladly retcon anything you'd like if there's another class choice for subclass options for sorcerer. Gladly I'll take you on and you can do that. Begin the process of leveling up your characters, but first roll your hit points.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So 5 and then so 8?
I only got 3 hit points.
And we're back. Everyone has leveled up their characters. So let's do a little round table and learn what is new about each of these individuals now who are level 3. We'll begin with Yashiria.
I have learned 4 new spells.
So you now have access to second level spells as
correct.
Yashiria. You're now able to prepare more spells.
That is
And
correct.
so you've changed your prepared spells application and you now have the ability to cast, I think it's 2
2 second level spells.
second level
yes.
spells. And so what second level spells have you prepared from the cleric's list?
So I've got from the cleric's list, I have Flaming Sphere and Scorching Ray.
Okay. That's what's currently prepared.
Yes.
Yes. And did you have a look at all at Xanathar's Guide to see what kick-ass new second level
No, there
cleric
wasn't
spells are
really-
available to you?
Wasn't really anything there.
That's
jumped
not
out
a
at me.
good selling point for Xanathar's.
It was a guide to everything, but it didn't guide me in the right direction.
Did you
Sometimes
look
there's
at the
just
list?
too many
Yeah.
choices.
I guess there was a lot of choices.
Yeah, there was a lot of choices.
Was there any that were interesting?
Not really.
Oh my god.
Well, hey, I don't work for Wizards of the Coast. I don't have to promote it.
Well, no.
Yeah, there's literally nothing for clerics.
There's nothing
at
for
second
clerics
level.
at second level.
But first level,
Ceremony,
did you have a look at what ceremony does for you?
No, I did not.
Did you have a look at any cantrips?
Toll of the Dead, or Word of Radiance.
There was some necromancy in there at level 3, but
Strong options going forward and looking backward, but not right now.
Not
Yeah.
right
At
now.
this specific moment for Yashiria. Poor form, Xanathar's.
Actually, Ceremony
else?
seems kind of baller.
Oh, hey, you rolled your hit die to increase your hit points.
you had to bring
What
that
did you
up,
get?
didn't you? He just had to. Let me bring it up. I got a 3 total.
Total
With your
3.
con?
So my con is 2,
Oh,
and my dice was 1.
dude.
So not much of a hit point increase for Yashiria at this level.
Probably because I didn't.
Let's hope you
hype
fix
up.
that next time.
Probably because I didn't hype up Xanathar's Guide to Everything enough.
I doubtlessly believe that's the case, yes. Who's next in revealing to our listeners, or largely just
I
ourselves?
could go next if you want me to. Okay. So for Drayden, I imagine him taking on the Battle Master specialization at 3rd level for fighter, as this is him kind of figuring out how to do the things that he was doing when he was a folk hero, but with this great weapon this really cool Calcrix great weapon, Frostbrand, that he acquired in the dungeon. The Battle Master allows him to spend superiority die, which are D8s, to add on to certain maneuvers he can do. So he can now do a goading attack, like effectively get the bad guy to only fight him if he hits him. And, disadvantage on fighting my party members. He can parry. So if somebody hits him, he can, with a weapon, he can parry that. Oh, parry.
Carry the microphone.
Good. And use his superiority die for that, as well as rally his siblings, because that's what he's all about, and actually grant them temporary hit points in an effort to bolster them. So
Cool.
kind of some light heals with that, which is really cool. And he also gets an artisan tool of his choice, which I figured
Skill with artisan's tools?
yeah, a skill with
And
artisan
which
tool.
artisan's tools did you choose?
I didn't choose anything yet, because I was like, I don't know that it makes sense to do that at this
Okay.
point in time. So I just wrote down artisan tool.
You best pick it as quickly as possible.
Oh no, I will. I'll just be like, Drayden comes back to town at some point if he doesn't die and is like, I really need to take this on because I feel like it's going to help me with my battle mastery.
And what did Drayden roll his hit points?
I rolled a 5, so that means that my hit points are now increased by 8 to 34.
Wow, good for you.
I know.
That's some good rolling. Wah, wah.
Nah, I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't that great.
That's pretty great. You're 11 hit points higher than me,
That's why I'm the tank now.
apparently.
All right, finally we have...
So Oriana got some pretty good upgrades. She gained another sorcery point, which is awesome because she also gained meta magic, which is useful to have that extra sorcery point. So for meta magic, she now has Careful Spell. So when she casts a spell that forces other creatures to make a saving throw, you can protect some of those creatures from the spell's full force. So when there's a huge oil spill in the middle of the walkway, I could have protected someone from it.
Oh, nice. Excellent. That's a great choice. So when you're throwing Fireball and Drayden's in the mix,
Yeah.
you can protect Drayden from that Fireball.
Yeah, any of my spells that go in a straight line or in a cone, I can try and avoid them.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then Twin Spell. So basically, if I cast one of my single spells, Ray of Frost or Chromatic Orb, for example, I can now hit 2 targets.
Oh, that's going to be very efficacious. Will you roll separately for each of those attacks, or is it just one attack roll?
When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature in range with the same spell. So you basically cast it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to make an
Attack twice.
attack roll. All right. Well, we'll call that it's a second attack roll for each of those for the twinned spell.
Perfect.
Because the different creatures will have different armor classes as well. It just makes pretty good sense.
I gained 1 level 2 spell, Shatter.
Ooh. Did you swap out any spells you had from before?
I did not, because I have found them fairly usul thus
True.
far.
Shatter's a great spell. And what did you roll for hit points?
Higher than Yashiria.
Oh, yeah, everyone's going to do that.
I rolled an 8, so I am now at 26.
26
Less
hit
squishy.
points. That is
It's good.
I'm less squishy than
Respectable.
Yashiria.
I mean, it makes sense. The healer is the squishiest.
not really.
You're
You're a
you're
cleric.
like super beefy. I don't know.
Yeah.
You need
Poor
to eat
roller.
more. You need to eat more protein.
Bad roll. I don't want to talk about it.
With that, your short rest is complete. It is time now to continue the adventure.
Can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. So with our maximum hit points increasing, does anything happen to our current hit points?
No.
So that stays lower?
It's going to stay at whatever it is currently. What is your current hit point?
15.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
It's your current hit points there, Drayden.
Does it increase at all from a short rest?
Yeah, you can spend your hit die to go up in hit points.
And you get an extra hit die.
And
with
you
this
get
level.
a new hit die.
I'm actually at 18, so I'm going to spend some hit die to
All right, perfect.
get
So you
myself
did that
up.
during your short rest. And,
I'm at 23. I'm good.
all right.
And well, one more. Wah, wah.
Well, no, you get to add your constitution modifier
right.
for each of those dice you rolled.
oh, for each? Oh.
Yes.
So since I have 3 D6s, I can roll 2 of those?
You could if you wanted to, or just pick one and then you can roll the second one. You don't have to roll them all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm back up to full now.
Okay, so I'm going to roll 1 and then I add something to it? Or is it just 3D?
You're going to
or
add
the
your
D6?
constitution modifier to it.
Constitution modifier of +3.
Okay, so 7. So that's good.
Way better.
22.
Oh, yeah.
During the short rest, you investigated the corpses of the skeletons as well as the twig blights. None of them had anything on them of value or note. The skeletons were wearing black robes and had shovels and rakes. Over in the corner, it looks like they've been tending to a garden, growing twig blights therein. It looks like several more twig blights are growing in the rows, but those twig blights are not yet sentient or capable of running around.
Oh, they're like little twig blights.
They are just little plants growing up out of the earth.
I'm going to slice them down. I'm an asshole.
Sure, chop them out, root them out,
Yeah.
dig them up.
And during said investigation,
Yep.
could I possibly by chance happen upon a chip of mica? Mika?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, if that's something you need for shatter.
It's
Yeah.
sedimentary rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Is there rocks in this cave?
Of a specific type that you require, you need mica stone. Yeah, sure. You've
Perfect.
got what you need for shatter. one of the other elements is that you probably had it already because you're just now finishing the mastery of that spell. Now you know how to cast it and it's available to you. You've probably had this mica for a while and in the background thinking to yourself about how to provoke the world around you to explode in a cacophony of sound, i.e. the spell Shatter.
Feels like it fits with the wild mage thing.
Oh,
which
I'm
is cool.
super excited to use
Yeah.
it.
Boom.
You're very close to the north, the northern opening, this large cavernous opening. Sound comes from within and you see flickering firelight dance across the wall of the eastern side of it, the opening. It looks to be a rather large area. What would you all
what
like
kind
to
of sound does it sound like? You said it was like industry before. I
No,
think.
no, definitely not industry. The sounds coming forth is a scrabbling and somebody moving around.
Could be more skeletons.
Could be.
Let's go check it out. I hold Calcrix aloft, casting a bit of a light to approach, even though I can see a fair amount of distance.
Excellent. Yes. As you enter, the cavernous opening is about 20 feet high. It is also 10 to 15 feet wide. It stretches for about 15 feet before it opens up into this massive expanse. The ground slopes down from where you are, not at a huge grade, but it is a noticeable slope, and the roof opens up in a reverse upward grade as well. And it opens to the right and to the left of you into this. You can look out and see 60 feet ahead of you before you see any walls, but it is rough-hewn and natural, as though perhaps a pool at one point of water created this large cavern that you are now within. There are essentially 4 little offshoots that don't go anywhere. They just kind of wrap around, so it looks kind of like a bun has been pinched. And you can
kind of
see
like a bow tie, sort of, or
yeah, the other way around though. So that there's a huge middle opening, but there's little pinching back in, and then it opens up, and then it has a little thing at the top here, and then it goes back around, like almost like a clover, but more natural and rocky and
a butterfly.
sure, yeah.
Like a piece of toast.
Yes, these are all great examples of
Great
that.
podcast listening.
We're trying to explain. People play social games on Friday nights that are just like this. Is that a butterfly? Is it a 4-leaf clover? Is it a piece of toast?
2 ass cheeks pressed up against each other.
No, because they're more pinched and scrunched.
Oh, right.
Ass cheeks don't scrunch that bad. But what it is that it is none of those things. It is a cavernous room. Within this cavernous room, to your immediate right, you see pallets. Let me describe this. The floor of this rough cavern is stained and smells of blood and animal musk. Light from glowing fungus reveals an eastern niche, which holds a pallet of matted furs, a wide wooden board on which a variety of weapons are affixed, and a great cloak of patchy black fur hangs upon a slender pole. To the edge of the niche are 2 large nests made of hair, dry fungus, and refuse. It almost looks like an entryway that you would have, or a mud room where you would store your cloak and your outdoor tools and whatnot, and also has a couple of homespun kennels for dogs or some other sort of pet. The sounds of scrabbling and movement, though, come from further in another niche to the east that is further north from where you are now.
Avoiding the weird mudroom.
Yes.
We proceed forward.
Cautiously.
Excellent. Stealthily or just...
Yeah, we'll try.
All right, make a stealth check.
Both Yushiri and I are disadvantaged, so
Yeah. unless Yashiria chooses to
Oh,
be
you can
I was
levitate?
thinking I was going to activate.
Granted, if you choose to activate levitate, your action is to move. You don't get a move action anymore. You just
I just get to move.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. No, I'll do my stealth check with
All right.
disadvantage.
Oh, 8 total for me.
So I rolled a 9, so 11 in total.
I rolled a 5.
We're loud. We're kicking rocks.
We're clanking around.
Off to the north, as you proceed forward, one of you trips, scrabbling a bunch of scree on the downward slope. Another of you forgets that it is also a downward slope, tromps heavily into a rut. And the third of you, also very obviously moving around, provokes a sound, a voice from the niche to the north and to the east. And it says, "Well, looky here, pilgrim. Who's out there?"
Drayden steps forward, arms crossed, says, "It's I, the fox."
Stepping out into visible range is a bugbear
Oh,
and 2 giant rats with him. Both of these giant rats are white rats with red eyes, and they have a star and an AH branded on their flank that you can see very clearly as they come out. The bugbear is wearing a studded leather vest, a nice bright brown, and leather chaps. And when he walks, his steps sound with a clink, clink, clink as he saunters towards you. The picture in the Sunless Citadel here does not do justice to my version of this character, as you can see. But he is smiling for the camera.
I like John Wayne Bugbear. We need a combo name for him.
So, what are you doing in my home?
Looking
Fox?
for the bathroom? Get it? 'Cause never-
Swing and a miss.
That's good. That's some good podcasting.
That's great podcasting.
Now this is podcasting. little Phantom Menace joke for you. All right there. Now this is podcasting. I did it. It's fine. I did it.
Oh,
I amused myself.
yep. As long as you're
Like I
doing
did.
that, I'm happy. All right.
Aaron, it's your turn.
You're trying to make a terrible joke.
No, I can. All of my jokes are gold.
You save them
I say,
like precious treasures
I
for
see.
just for yourself, not on the podcast.
I say for later. It's for me.
Just for you.
So, what's it to be? I assume you are adventurers. Come down the shaft.
We're looking for the wizard, the spellcaster man.
Well, you aren't gonna find him here.
All right, we'll be on our way. And I shrug.
Have you by chance seen any other adventurers down this way?
All I can tell you is that you're in the wrong home at the wrong time, messing with the wrong guy.
I look around quickly. Do I spot Yashiri's shield?
You don't see Yashiria's
Okay.
shield.
Oh, yeah, I don't have it yet.
Erky Timbers says, "This is a bugbear. He is technically goblinoid. Are we going to slay him now?"
I don't feel comfortable with just slaying people out of hand. I don't know that he's done anything wrong.
Well, that's good to hear, he says, as he steps a bit closer. You can see he does have tons of weapons on him. He's got a large crossbow, looks really devastating on his hip, like he can quick draw, lock, and load on you without a moment's notice. He clicks his the side of his mouth. He goes, "John, Wayne, flank on me." And the 2 rats move to stand behind him.
Our rats are named John and Wayne.
Yeah. And they are giant rats. They look definitely scary, not something you really want to fight right away. But nonetheless, the bugbear does not move to attack you. He says, "It's been a long time since I had anyone come down the shaft that wasn't already bagged and tagged. Tell me, what's going on upstairs?"
Nothing incredibly interesting. There was dragon troll.
kobolds as well.
Kobolds, goblins.
Goblins.
Let's talk about the goblins, shall we?
There's a change of hierarchy.
His shoulders sag a bit. He looks like he might not want to reveal his emotional state in regards to that news, but his shoulders sag nonetheless. You don't even need to make an insight check to realize that the change of goblin leadership has an impact and effect on him. And he says, "So you're telling me the Dern is dead?
Very much so.
Any of the other hobgoblins still running around right as rain? Or are they pushing up daisies?
Were they your friends?
A guy like me, I ain't but got one friend in this world." He pats his crossbow lovingly. Old Betsy here surfed me through time and time again. Is it your intention to head on further in, find your way down and rectify this incursion that has found its way in here?
The wizard?
You keep calling him that.
Is he not a wizard?
I don't have much business with him. Doesn't seem overly wizardy to me.
We needed to find some lost adventurers.
Well, if you're looking for them, sure as shooting, they made their way further inside.
That was the plan. Can you point us in the right direction?
Well, I could point, but you wouldn't like what happens. Let me tell you. And he sighs audibly. And at this point, given that you've spent a couple of minutes in the space, you're all on edge, you're looking around, trying to see if anybody's sneaking up on you while this bugbear's having a conversation. Give me a perception check.
Sure.
All of you. Yashiria, you've been extremely quiet. I'm going to assume that you've been looking around more than the others. I'll give you advantage on this check. I am looking for anything over a 20. Did anybody beat 20?
25.
All right. Did you roll a natural 20?
Natural 19.
Then that's perfect. How did the rest of you do?
14.
I rolled a 13.
Reasonably sure that this is the home of this bugbear, that the pallets you saw are the nests of the two rats. So the 13 and the 14, you know for a fact there aren't any more than what you're seeing right now for giant rats and a bugbear. But you, Yashiria, you note that bed off in the corner, it's for two.
Ooh.
That bed
The lady friend?
off in the corner has a couple of nightstands. There's things on both nightstands, as it were. I mean, they're not really nightstands and like a lamp and an alarm clock, but they've got things on them, like a glass that holds water is on both nightstands. No one in their right mind has two glasses laying on their bedstand on either side. They've got one. And or both of the glasses are on the one nightstand. You've got like 3 or 4 glasses on the nightstand. No. It's not like one nightstand has 3 or 4 glasses on it. One nightstand has one glass, and the other nightstand has one glass. And you, Yashiria, you notice that, and you realize that there is another bugbear living in this cavern. This cavern is also warm. Not unnaturally so. It just seems to have some native warmth, as though there is some sort of heat convection that's going on. And the two 13 and 14s, you see to the north a passage that leads out of this cavern and into the darkness and reaches beyond. And it goes down precipitously. Now, while Sidork did have the map in the bone case tucked away in his bag, I'm going to allow and say that each of you have had an opportunity to look at this map that says Kundrakar on it. And it is very clear to at least one of you here, when you see the room in this pinched shape that it is after we've described it as toast and described it as clover, that this room is the beginning point of the map that leads to Kundrakar. That Kundrakar is out there, and this map that you're holding has this cavern as its entrance point. So you kind of realize that all in one go.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the bugbear says, well, shucks, while I do consider myself a pretty darn good hunter, and while it has been a bit of a pull since the last time I had truck with a bunch of sentients, I sure as shootin' know I'm gonna get in trouble if I lay wreaking havoc to all of you. And I might lose John or Wayne here, and that would not sit well with me. Wouldn't want to put down a friend, as it were. So I'll make you all a deal if you're willing to parlay.
Sure. We can have a conversation.
Dern brought me and mine into this place. We're following that hobgoblin way. He's in charge. Maglubiet says so. And while I ain't doubtlessly gonna wreak and receive some punishment in some capacity for letting y'all walk out of my home, coming in interrupting me, if you meet up with my wife as you sojourn further in, and you convince her, come on home to me so we can pack up and get out of here, start our home in a far more reasonable, respectable locale, then I'll let you all go.
Why did your dear lady leave you, if I may ask?
She's at work.
Oh.
She's working for that Belak, taking care of the shrubs and herbs,
Oh.
as is her predilection,
She's an herbalist.
whatever that is.
Which way is she that we might deliver your message?
You're gonna find her through that door to the east, but not right away. One of the rats darts forward as though that was some sort of command and then pulls back abruptly as though it had been snapping, ready to attack you. Both the rats seem very much on edge, but the bugbear has not shown, like his hand is close to his crossbow, but far enough away that you know he's not planning on drawing.
And what's your name, noble bugbear?
Well, thank you, son. The name is Balsag.
Like
Balsac at the bottom of the shaft.
Yep.
that's in the book?
I'm not.
Oh, D&D. Oh, Wizards of the Coast.
What we'll do is, once this adventure is done, we'll have a half-hour powwow, talk about what I've changed, what is in the book, and we'll go from there.
Ballsag.
So,
boy.
I am going to have to need you to make either a deception or a...
I'm not deceiving him.
No. I want to make sure that you don't laugh at his name.
Okay.
So I would like you to make...
Yeah.
some nature of charisma check. I'll allow you to sway me for everyone who laughed. So that is Aaron, Paige, and Marie Claire. I will need these checks.
So we can choose which one?
Yeah, you let me know if it's a deception check, or I mean, I'll even accept a sleight of hand as you turn it into a coughing fit if that's something you would like to do.
Survival.
No.
Yeah, no, I got nothing from a charisma skill perspective, so I'm just gonna say it's going to be a performance
Sure.
check where
I'll gladly. Performance it is. All right, roll the dice.
Okay.
Oriana got a...
Natural 19.
All right,
Plus
perfect.
my 4 charisma.
Drayden
15.
and Yashira.
19.
You are all very capable of holding that laughter in when he says his name is Balsag. Mrs. and I left our home, come out here to the west, make a go of it in this frontier.
What's her name?
Well, her name in your tongue would be Virus. However, I call her several pet names I won't bother to share with you, or they do not translate from my native tongue too well.
May I ask, is there something that we can say to her that will allow her to trust us? We look like humanoids that you would instantly kill, given an opportunity perhaps. And I trust that she is as gentle and thoughtful as you, but is there something that we can say, Balsag sent us and he says this so that you would trust her?
That's a very good point you make there, young man. I'ma tell you, you told her that Balsag misses her gentle touch, then that might stir a response from her. He looks like he wants to say more. He looks like there's something on his chest.
I would like to encourage him to say more. Like,
all right. How will you do that?
I'm going to be like, she sounds wonderful. I would like to hear more about her. And
Hold on.
Could I take over that action
Sure.
and use my persuasion?
Sure,
How
yeah.
would you persuade him, Oriana? You see that
I'm going to seem
Drayden's...
interested.
Well, I'll allow for Oriana to make the roll with advantage
Yeah.
from Drayden's assistance. What would you add to that?
So I've kind of been sitting here silent, listening to the conversation and kind of trying to figure out the body language that he's giving off. And I sense that there's something more to what's going on, and there's something that he may want to say, but just we're strangers and so isn't wanting to say it in front of us. So I finally speak up and I say, she sounds very kind, but that she may have been gone a while. Is there something to that?
Well, little lady, make your roll.
And with advantage?
Yeah, because Drayden's assisting
I'm
you.
helping. I'm looking interested.
17.
Perfect.
And then
Plus all of your bonuses
Yeah.
comes to.
23.
That is a wonderful roll. You have this look upon your face, and even if you've said the wrong thing, both of you seem genuine in your concern and interest. And he says, well, that's a tale to tell. Why don't you come on over to the cook pot, and I'll scoop you up a dish of stew, and I'll tell you all about it. And he goes on to explain in his Western-like way that he and his missus had come out here to start a family. And at Dern's direction, they had felt that that this was the place to go. They had like solid, there's benefits. There's a great maternity leave options.
Sounds like a timeshare.
And that it's like he was being relocated and moving to a new branch office with better benefits,
I see.
better pay. However, the number of adventurers has been extremely slight coming into this place. He finds that he has to seek out and hunt on his own to make ends meet. There's just not enough going on here, and of course her job has taken her away from him. She's gone all the time, and when she is around, she's tired and doesn't want to clean up, doesn't want to do the dishes, and leaves him to do all the dishes. And they've been trying really hard to have a little baby bugbear. And it's just not happening, no matter how hard they've been trying. And he said, believe me, little lady, we've been trying. And I know for a fact that I'm not shooting blanks. But he's guessing that her work and the labor that she's doing is just too hard, and maybe it's too stressful an environment to have a baby in. And he shares this over a split pea soup, and there's ham in there, and you're really enjoying
I'm gonna
it.
reach into my pouch and pull out my elixir of health that was given to me by the queen of the kobolds.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, Balsag, would this elixir of health help? Perhaps she is ill and unable to...
Wow. He gladly accepts an elixir of health from you, as though that will clear up his beloved wife.
I mean, I don't know shit, but I was
wife's
like,
ailment. For that, you'll earn a white mote
oh, thanks.
for such care and concern for the state and status
I
of
want
an
him
NPC.
to be successful and have little baby bugbears.
He takes this potion of health with shock on his face, and he says,
I
I
say
don't
something?
know if there's any way to thank you.
No need for thanks. I just want you to be successful in having little baby bugbears, and perhaps you'll name one of them after the name Drayden.
You bet. If this proves the pudding right there, then if my name isn't Balsag, my son or daughters will be named Foxsag.
It's a lovely name.
Oh, I get it. Your first name's Ball and your last name's Sag. Got it. That was more of a thought for myself.
Yeah, I don't think you're literally telling him what his name is and isn't.
Oh, so your name is Ball.
You're awfully polite for a quiet little lady.
Quite dry down here. You wouldn't happen to have a bottle of sarsaparilla lying around, would you, sir?
I don't know how to take your tone, but if you're looking for water from a water skin, I can definitely get you set up. There's a real nice spring that I've got down in the way. I've built me a little well, draw up a bucket of cold, fresh cavern water, just for you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. He goes off. You have a nice meal around his cook fire. The two rats go off to there. They see that there's no combat happening and they snuffle and slink away. They move off and they rest in their little nests and whatnot and root around over there. He comes back with water skins filled for anyone who wished to do so. And the water is indeed cold and sharp in your mouth. It tastes delicious and wonderful. And he thanks you. You enjoy your brief meal, but as you're leaving, you get the strangest feeling that might not have been ham in that stew.
It was probably
And that
adventure.
turns your stomach the smallest bit. As I said before, when you had descended the shaft, the door to the east was closed. Door to the south was ajar a small amount, and the noise was all coming from the north.
Yeah, what was he doing that it was making so much noise?
He was puttering around, sharpening a weapon, tidying up, doing the dishes
He
and the laundry.
He was manning the house.
Yeah, he was probably beating that cloak because he'd washed it and was banging the dust out of it and the water out of it or something. I mean, he was definitely doing household chores when you arrived.
Down one of the ways we've seen before and we noticed, and that was, what was the name of it?
Kundrakar is to the
Kundrakar.
north. Yeah.
And what was in there that we needed to go?
There is nothing in there. That cavern, that sloping, quick descending offshoot cavern that Balsag went down and seemed to come back with water from. What I'm trying to tell you there is that a different adventure awaits down that cavern, down that tunnel. That tunnel leads to Kundrakar, whatever that might be.
Okay.
It is not connected or relevant to your needs in the Sunless Citadel.
Okay. So then our goal, then we want to go towards where his wife is and where the wizard is.
I believe it was to the east, if I recall.
And we
Exactly.
should, as we're like walking towards the east entrance, I'm going to say we should try to get as much information about this wizard. Billy? Brand? Barry?
Wow. I know Marie Claire's having trouble, but you don't need to make your character have trouble. I mean, you're just saying the name like an hour ago in game.
I honestly cannot remember.
And that's fine. The requisite note taker is not here at the moment. One thing for sure, though, you may have wished to ask Balsag. Yashiria probably hangs back for a moment,
Where's my...
turning to Balsag as the rest of the party moves forward towards that eastern door, and she says,
Excuse me, mighty Balsag. Have you seen a shield around at all? I seem to be missing mine.
well, where did you lose it?
It fell to the bottom of the shaft. Probably around where you are, Balsag.
Well, I ain't never seen no shield. But I'm not the only patron in this section. Huh. What does it look like?
It's metal and silver with a yellow sun on it.
Shiny?
Yes.
Right. I gotta tell you, there's a fire snake or two that live in the south. They do like the shiny things. It may very well be that if you lost a shield down the shaft, and it did land with a resounding clatter. Oh yeah, happened in the middle of the night, about 10 hours ago.
Sounds about right.
I did hear a ringing, as though someone was at the triangle calling everyone to dinner. And it very well could have attracted the attention of the fire snakes to the south.
Why does it always have to be snakes? So to the south, you say?
What was that?
The fire snakes have apparently taken my shield. They're to the south.
Do you want to go that way first?
Yes.
Fisheria?
Wait, so you're telling me that we're not killing that bugbear?
No.
No.
No. He's been really kind to us.
I don't know if there's something wrong with you, but you're definitely not doing this the way everyone else does.
Hey, Yashiria, you want to make him quiet?
No, that's all right. Once was more than enough. Believe me.
Drayden like stands up to his full height, which towers over Urki, and says, "Good Urki Timbers, we are not murderers. We fight when we need to. We are simple circus folk.
He shrugs his shoulders. He kicks the loose turned soil that was in the northern part of the shaft cavern. And he...
That's right. I said carnies are not murderers, guys.
I got nothing on that. I mean, he kicks the loose soil where the twig blights were growing, and he looks all angrily disappointed, and he rubs at one of his healed wounds that was probably still nagging at him, and whispers a brief plea to Paylor for guidance and strength to get through these troubling times. Door to the south is slightly ajar.
Let's go that way, sister, so that we might find your shield and attempt to retrieve it for you before the final battle. Yes. I
All right.
assume we're heading towards the... We'll approach the door and push it open.
It leads into a hallway that is 10 feet wide and stretches for about 45 feet or so. You slowly make your way down this pathway.
I'm going to try
You
to be
check for traps.
observant for weird floor plates, arrow slits, things like that.
You slowly check for traps around this door that is ajar. It isn't ajar, it's a door. There are no traps. There's no bell or anything down here. This floor is not rough hewn, it is carved out. That does not appear to be anything along it. It is dusty, however, there are wending runnels in the dust.
Presumably fire snake.
But they are smaller in size. They are maybe 5 inches wide at any given time. When you get to the about 45-foot mark down this corridor, though, a rift opens here. It's debris-strewn floor 2 feet below that of the corridor you're in. No phosphorescent fungus grows in the rift. The corridor continues past the rift, though the opening of the rift has caused it to shift 10 feet to the west. A number of 2-foot diameter holes riddle the floor of the rift, and the smell of burnt earth hangs in the air. When you look down, because the rift is about 10 feet below you, it's floor. And when you look into these 2-foot holes, which are all over the place, those descend into blackness to depths you cannot discern.
Because the hallway like shifts after the rift.
Right.
Do we see the snakes past that? Like the
No.
snake slithers?
There are no further slithers in that 10-foot shifted corridor. It is a 15-foot distance away from you to the right.
Is it jumpable?
Can you jump 15 feet in all your gear?
I have no idea.
Well, somebody can levitate over there very easily. You can also jump down, climb up.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that it's a difficult thing to get to the next part.
Call out.
However, it does look like those runnels from the snakes in the dust do not
Go further.
go
yeah.
further. They are from this rift in the earth.
How do you call fire snake?
The rift descends slightly. To your right, it has a slopewards down. To the left, it slopes up. And as you look out or reach out, you feel an almost intangible differential in the heat on the down slope than the upslope. So the heat is wafting up the slope. There's something warmer.
So does
further
does the
down.
rift almost create like a new corridor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Creates a large corridor that stretches out of vision to both the right and the left.
And sorry, east or west is up.
The eastern side of the rift is the upper slope of it and colder. The western side of the
We're
slope
gonna have to go into the volcano.
goes down.
Raise a glass and drink with the enemy. Raise a glass and sing with the enemy. And I'm not gonna do this on my own. And raise a glass and toast to the enemy. Raise a glass and sing to the enemy. And I'm not gonna do this on my own.
This concludes this episode of Tavern Tales, a curated Dungeons & Dragons 5e game set in the Tales of the Yawning Portal adventure module by Wizards of the Coast. Our intro and outro music is the song Tavern Tales by the Bad Billy Band. You can find out more about the Bad Billy Band on iTunes or at www.badbillyband.com or follow them on Twitter at badbillyband. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or find us on Twitter at tavern_tales. We'll be back next week with more of the adventure.
Do you think we can get Timbits delivered?
No.
I don't think Tim Hortons is on Skip the Dishes.
But is it on Uber Eats?
I don't know. Uber Eats doesn't reach this part of town yet.
Tomorrow is my son's 6th birthday.
I knew that.
I have to make him breakfast.
Gotta measure him when he's at his tallest.
Now, do you make him roll a d6 or d8 when he levels up?
Oh no, he hasn't leveled up.
Oh, but like tomorrow, will you be like, roll this?
He won't level up tomorrow.
Yeah, he's playing
he
his
levels
podcast.
up when he goes to the next grade of school.
Yeah.
Oh.
And tomorrow is Dungeons & Dragons Tavern Tales Junior Special Edition for Will birthday. So we're going to see what happens then.
Yeah.
But they're in a
That's
fight of
cute.
their lives right now.
They're going to be fighting
They're fighting a
mimic.
And I'm going to have the lights keep turning off.
What?
What?
So,
Why don't the lights turn off for us?
do you guys know what a mimic is?
Nope.
All right. It's like in Harry Potter, Boggart.
Where it pretends to be something,
Where
but it usually
it's
pretends to
always
be like
something
an
that you
object.
fear, right? Well,
Right.
mimics tend to be objects like treasure chests and whatnot. So that when you
Okay.
get close to them
They
to
attack
try
you.
to open the chest, they're like, "Whoa," and they just swallow you whole because they're really an amorphous blob that can just look like whatever. Well, it's fun to have the first reveal. And then they're like, that's not what it's supposed to be. And then it suddenly turns into this mimic and attacks you. Now the enjoyment of that has expired, right? Like, but what happens if it attacks you or it doesn't attack you? The lights suddenly go out. Everything is plunged into darkness and the lights suddenly come back on.
And it's something different.
And it's something different, and you have to, and they're all gonna have to make checks to figure out what the hell it is. And it's the first one is gonna be the bedspread. It's gonna be the bedspread, and because they're in this underdark drow society, high society house in a mansion, and the mimic is one of these things in this like highfalutin bedroom.
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's
Yeah, it's
Mansion.
It's definitely Luigi's Mansion.
Totes. So yeah, the bedspread is going to be the first one, and then I haven't figured out exactly what the second one's going to be because I'm going to get them to explain to me what is in this like super fancy master bedroom. I rely on the
awesome.
kids to come up with all these crazy things, and so one of the crazy things that they tell me will be the next thing that the mimic will be.
That's awesome.